Imagine living in a giant castle with high stone walls and golden crowns. You would think it is a fairy tale, right? But for little Prince Louis, the youngest son of Prince William, the palace has become a place of secrets. Instead of just playing with his toys, people are telling scary stories about him. They are using big, mean words to make the world think he is a problem instead of just a kid. This isn't just about being a prince, it is a fight for his future. His dad, Prince William, is very angry and is trying to save his son from a secret plan made by Queen Camilla. Get ready to hear a story about a brave father, a sneaky queen, and a little prince who just wants to be happy. There is some very big news from the United Kingdom and the royal family. In the last few days, everyone has been talking about Prince Louis. He is the youngest son of Prince William and is usually a favorite of the public. People used to love him because he was funny and made silly faces at big parties. But now, people are starting to describe him in a new and unkind way. They are saying he is unstable and difficult to manage. They are even saying he is not the right kind of person to be part of the future of the royal family. It is very strange to hear these things about a young boy who was once a star. Lately, Prince Louis has not been seen at any big events. He used to be in the center of everything, but now he has vanished. When he does appear, it is only for a very short time. He is always moved away quickly by adults who watch him very closely. It looks like he needs extra help or someone to tell him what to do all the time. This has made people very suspicious. On the internet, people are taking old videos of him and changing them. They are making him look like he is acting out or having trouble. Many people are asking if these stories are real or if someone is making them up behind the palace walls. Amid all these secrets, one name keeps coming up. That name is Queen Camilla. Some people say she is the one trying to change how the world sees Prince Louis. They think she wants people to believe he is a problem so he can be pushed aside. Prince William is reportedly more furious than he has ever been. He has started taking quiet but strong steps to protect his son. This is causing a lot of stress inside the royal house. Is Queen Camilla really trying to hurt Louis's reputation? How far will the future king go to save his son from this big power struggle? In February 2026, London was very, very cold. A huge winter storm made the sky dark and gray. The palace felt very quiet and lonely. Inside his room, little Prince Louis was fighting a bad fever. He was 7 years old and usually full of life and energy. He was the kind of boy who always made things fun. But the sickness made him feel very weak and tired. He stayed in his bed under thick, warm blankets. His cheeks were red from the heat of the fever, and he kept falling in and out of a strange sleep. In the middle of the night, Louis started to cry. At first, it was just small sounds, but then he started to cry very loudly. The palace is a place where everyone walks and talks very quietly. His loud crying sounded like a big alarm. The nannies tried everything to help him. They used cold cloths to cool him down and sang sweet songs, but Louis was too sick to hear them. He felt like he was trapped in a bad dream. He covered his ears with his hands and pushed away anyone who tried to touch him. It was a very sad sight for the workers who loved him. While some people felt sad, Queen Camilla was watching. She had spent a long time becoming the queen and standing next to King Charles. She knew that in the palace, power is about who tells the stories. She was not very close to William's family because of things that happened a long time ago. She was a very quiet person who watched everything. That morning, she walked down the hall toward Louis's room. She stood by a window and listened to him cry. She was not thinking about the boy's health. She was thinking about who would be king next. Louis was fourth in line, which was close enough to matter but far enough to be moved. Camilla remembered when Louis made everyone laugh at the Queen's big party in 2022. Back then, everyone thought he was cute, but Camilla knew that if you changed the story, cute could look like bad behavior. She turned the ring on her finger while she thought of a long plan. She saw William rushing to his son's room looking very tired and worried. William always tried to keep his kids safe from the news. Camilla smiled a tiny smile that was not happy. She knew that a father's biggest fear is for his child's future. She did not even go into the room. She had seen enough to start her calculation. In the weeks after Louis got better, a different kind of problem started. It was a plan made of secrets. Louis started missing from the lists of royals at big events. His brother George and sister Charlotte were there, but Louis's spot was empty. No one explained why he was gone. Instead, secret rumors started to appear. Camilla was very good at moving the news in the direction she wanted. She never talked to the reporters herself. Instead, she had tea with her media helpers. She showed them pictures of Louis looking upset. Under her direction, old videos of Louis were edited to look scary. They made him look like he was having a hard time with his feelings. The public started to have doubts about Louis. Whenever he did show up, his family tried to protect him with many nannies, but people thought this meant he was in trouble. Camilla watched all of this from her office. She saw how the news was starting to treat Louis like a patient instead of a boy. She felt happy that her plan was working. In his own room, Louis was just a normal child playing with toy planes and his dog. He had no idea that people were taking notes every time he laughed too loudly or got grumpy. Some palace workers even started staying away from him because they were worried he might act out. Camilla knew that to ruin someone's future, you just had to make people feel like they didn't belong. She pretended to be kind while asking if it was too cruel to make a fragile boy like Louis be a prince. It was a very mean move hidden as a nice one. The big newspapers stayed quiet, which let the internet stories get even wilder. People stopped asking if Louis was a good boy and started asking if he was healthy enough to be a prince. The bad ideas were growing very fast. They were starting to take away the innocence of a child who was fourth in line for the throne. The silence from the news felt very heavy. It was like a golden cage was being built around Prince Louis's image. Reporters were told not to look into why the prince was missing. Inside the palace, William started to feel that something was wrong. He was always careful with the news because of his mother, Princess Diana. At first, he was glad his son was left alone. But then he realized the protection was too perfect. It felt like someone was trying to turn his son into a ghost. William spent hours in his study looking at news reports. He saw that every time they tried to show a happy picture of Louis, something went wrong to hide it. Camilla kept acting very calm and nice. She went to charity events and smiled. But when people asked about Louis, she would just sigh and look sad. This silent gesture was very powerful. It made people think the rumors were true. William started to feel a quiet fury. He looked out the window and saw Louis running on the lawn. His son was just a boy, but the internet was full of debates about removing him from the royal line. Words like burden were being used. William found out that photographers were being told they couldn't come to the palace if they tried to help Louis's image. William stood at his desk with his fingers gripping the wood. He knew this was a plan to destroy his son's character. The cage Camilla built was meant to keep the truth from escaping. Every time William tried to protect Louis, it was twisted into proof that something was wrong. He knew he had to act fast. That night, he started writing down all the things that didn't make sense. He was getting ready for a fight that would change the royal family forever. He started a secret investigation with his most trusted friends. He found that Camilla's helpers were meeting with tabloid bosses right before the mean stories came out. The biggest proof was a video clip. A long time ago, Louis had been a little scared by some loud fireworks. In the real video, William gave him a hug and he was fine. But in the version sent to the news, the hug was cut out. It made Louis look like he was very upset and alone. William felt a wave of anger in his chest. This was not just about power. It was a betrayal of the family. Camilla had used a child's most vulnerable moments to hurt him. William's anger turned into a cold promise to save his son. He knew he had to confront her face to face. The meeting happened in a quiet room at the palace. William walked in looking very strong and determined. He put a big folder of proof on Camilla's desk. Camilla sat there like a statue. She did not look surprised or worried. She looked right at William with a cold look. William told her everything he knew. He was disgusted that she would use a child's pain as a weapon. Camilla stayed silent. In her world, everything was a game for the crown. She thought Louis was a risk that had to be handled. William saw that she had no heart. He told her the real difference was that he cared about people, and she only cared about power. After that talk, things changed. Camilla's office went very quiet. She stopped sending out orders to the news and moved away from the center of things. She even sent a formal letter to say sorry, though no one knew if she meant it. The news started to be nice to Louis again. People forgot the mean stories and saw him as a happy boy once more. William became even more careful. He made sure all the workers were loyal. He watched Louis playing on the grass and felt happy he saved him, but he knew he could never trust Camilla again. Peace in the palace is often just a break before the next battle starts. Do you think Camilla is really sorry, or is she just waiting to try again? Let us know in the comments and subscribe. Finn.